What's going on, everyone? Coach Aaron here, back again with another video. And in this video today, we're going to talk about the importance, or maybe lack of importance, of meet day handling. So this topic comes from, King of List podcast, as we do overrated, underrated, and we've talked about meet day handling when it comes to that, whether we felt it was an overrated or underrated topic. But in this video, I want to delve a little bit deeper and kind of go over both sides, how for some people in certain aspects, it may be overrated, and for some people in certain other aspects, it may be underrated. So first, let's go over the overrated aspect, and that's going to be for the more of a beginner lifter you are and a lower level of competition is, the less it matters as far as the meet day handling and keeping track of your competition, everything like that. When it's a lower level competition, like it's your very first meet and you're just going to local meet, you should be focusing on yourself first. So it doesn't really matter who's showing up, what kind of numbers they can hit, and what kind of placing you're going to get. You're there to just enter in the competition, gain experience, see if you actually like the sport, maybe meet some other people in your area, build some baseline numbers, and then from there you can build up and hit, competition PRs, figure out how to go to nationals, break records, and try and go for placing from there. So as far as it comes to the scouting before the competition or looking at your competition during the competition itself, it doesn't really matter. A handler should not be focusing on that, and you as a lifter should not be focusing on that. And then when it comes to your own lifting, just having someone who knows some of the basics and you have some kind of game plan as far as warm-ups and attempts is really all you need, because a person who has the basics would know how to load the weights for you, take a look at the screen, keep track of your warm-ups, make sure you warm up in time, and then get you ready when it's your turn. They can say, okay, you're 3 out, you're 2 out, you're 1 out, and maybe video your lifts for you and then have your game plan for you. So when you come off the platform, you can take a look and come up with your next attempt together and turn it in. So it's very basic, especially if you come prepared. If you already have the equipment and you know what equipment you're allowed to use and what you're not allowed to use, if you already know the rules as far as the commands and what you have to wait for and listen for, if you already have, like I said, a game plan for warm-ups and attempts that you're going to do, how many warm-ups and when you're going to take them, whether it's the first, second, or third round of the previous flight, then that's going to cover a lot of things. And you don't need someone who is a professional meet day handler that knows all the ins and outs of a competition, because you're just not really focused on that stuff. You want to focus on the basics. You want to make attempts. You don't really need to know the ins and outs of the rules. You don't need someone going to a jury. There's not going to be a jury at most competitions anyways. So it's just a little bit excessive and more than you need. There can also be some benefits to learning some of this stuff on your own and being self-sufficient. So just being able to, go to an event and you know how to do the check-in process. You know how to work rack heights on a combo rack. You know how to go through weigh-ins and turn your openers with legal kilogram attempts. You know how to look at a screen and see where you are as far as the flight and the order, and knowing how to go to the scoring table and turn your next attempt in. Just knowing those basics, you don't have to be an expert on those things, helps you be more self-sufficient. That helps you know how to do those things on your own if you have to. If, for some reason your coach can't come to a meet, or your meet day handler backs out of the meet and you have to maybe do something on your own, or if in the future you want to help out a friend or something like that, then you know some of the basics and you can help them out because you went through it yourself. So in that case, it's overrated to try and pay money to fly your coach in, to handle you. You're paying for a plane ticket, hotel, their coach's fee for the meet and everything like that, or for you to spend extra money to fly to whatever state your coach is in so that you can go and compete where they can handle you. And again, you're paying for a plane ticket, hotel, taking time off work, everything like that. You just find a local meet that's in your area, find maybe a significant other or a friend or someone that can handle you for the day a little bit and load your weights and stuff like that. Or if not, and you feel you're very self-sufficient, maybe you can just do it completely yourself, or maybe find someone at a meet who is in the same flight as you and you guys can load the weights together and give each other lift offs on bench press and everything like that, film each other's lifts, and then you just go through it that way for a local meet. So in that case, it's overrated to have some kind of professional meet day handler that knows all the ins and outs. On the flip side, on the underrated side, if you're a more experienced lifter or you're going to a higher level competition, then it becomes more and more important to have a meet day handler. So if you're someone, even if you're doing, just a national level or region level, you're not trying to win a world title, but you are someone who's more experienced and you've made more progress and it's harder for you to hit PRs, then you really want to have someone there who can keep you on point as far as trying to get all the variables in check, making sure they warmed you up properly, just in time, making sure they pick smart attempts where they can maximize your total rather than maybe, rushing the warm-ups and sitting around for 20, 30 minutes doing nothing, or maybe being a little bit too slow and you have to go out there and do your opener very quick, or, overshooting attempts and maybe missing some third attempts and not being able to PR total. You want to try and maximize everything on the day to maximize your PRs and your total. And maybe even if you're not going for a world title title or world record. Other than the PRs, maybe you're going for some kind of state record. Maybe you want to win the state title, or maybe you want to win a regional title. Maybe you want to hit a qualifying total for national. So you really have to make sure you're calculating your numbers to hit that qualifying total. And so there it helps to have someone who's more experienced, who knows all the ins and outs and can prepare you properly for those higher level goals. And then obviously, if you're trying to win a national title, you're trying to win a world title, you're trying to break a national or world record, again, it becomes very important. When there's more competition and higher level competition, and it could be a battle between 2, 3, 4, even 5 athletes for the title or the podium, then you have to have someone who's much more experienced, someone who can watch the competition, see how they're performing, watch your attempts, see how you're performing, pick the right attempts. If they need to go to a jury, they can go to the jury, get something reviewed, and know all those ins and outs. All those little things are going to matter and make a difference the more there's competition. So the more there's a gap between you and the rest of the competition, or if you don't care about the competition like the lower level, then those things don't matter. But the more competition there is and the tighter that competition is, then the more value should be placed in that. The more important it is to have someone who can time everything perfectly for you, warm you up perfectly, pick the perfect attempts, know all the rules in case they need to go to jury and protest someone else's lift or your lift, so that they can maximize your total and your placing on the day for that competition. And even for records, knowing the rules as far as chipping records, and if you and someone else is going for the record, how to pick the attempts to make sure you're the one who's left with that national or world record. And I want to hear your thoughts. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, be sure to go down to the comment section below and drop a comment whether you agree with the underrated and underrated thoughts that I put down, or whether you have some other thoughts. And if you want to learn more powerlifting tips and tricks so you can be a better meet day handler, or maybe you're a lifter who wants to pick a better coach, then you can check out this powerlifting tips playlist right here. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.